And we are back. Home Track Heroes here on CW11. Our Interstate Battery Hornet main event coming up 30 laps for these ladies and gentlemen. Let's bring you the lineup. In the number 77 is Christian Miller. The number 33 is Ryan Hausenfluck. The 17 of Greg Hatch. They will start on the inside second row. Outside of Hatch is the 00 of Dan Miller. Bobby Fisher in the number 81 car will line up in the third row. Outside of Bobby will be Steve Hatch, and he'll have an in-car camera in the 82. Bert Jacobs in car 319, and the 221 is Lyndon Smith.
Inside of row 5, it'll be the 7D of Dawson Cox. Outside in the 16 car with an in-car camera will be Peyton Hopp. Peyton, 22 years old and out of beautiful downtown Monroe. Inside of row 6, the 70 car of Tanner Emery. Outside, the 76 of Jamie Corbett. Jamie will also have an in-car in his Acura for today's action. Inside of row 7, the 13 of John Newbaum. Outside, the 025 of Trent Gillespie. And rounding out the field in the 8th row will be the 54X of Brendan Terrio.
You remember we chronicled Brendan, our points leader, coming into action this afternoon. Worked his way brilliantly through the B main event, as we showed you that here a little bit ago on Home Track Heroes. And be kind of cool to watch him work his way through the field as well. Hornet Division this season, as you see him getting the green flag right now, and we are back underway. Hornets have really put on some spectacular main events as they are on the road course and pretty much sticking to this same setup, which is kind of cool for these guys because now they know what, pretty much they're going to see this track all season long. They know what they're getting into. We see the 13 car really slowing down. That's John Newbaum. But and Brendan Terrio, you can see him in that 54X right ahead of him. But one lap in, and cars are all looking good making the first lap.
Lots and lots of Acura Integras. That's the car of choice in this division. But you do have a few other things out there, different types of cars and stuff. One of the things, you know, these guys put a lot of effort into these cars, and they do have a great amount of fun. But Ryan Hausenfluck right now out front, showing them how to do it as they head down to complete the second lap, followed by Christian Miller, Greg Hatch, Dan Miller, Steve Hatch. So it's the Hatch and Miller show there for a while. Lyndon Smith in the 221, Bobby Fisher. I thought he was a tennis player.
He was.
All right. Dawson Cox in the 7D, Jamie Corbett, and Tanner Emery.
Man, look at a good run by Corbett there in that 76 with the white side panel on it, red roof, as he really both him and Dawson Cox split that car right down the middle. And here we go. Let's take a ride with Steve Hatch in the 82.
You can see there, it just made a change, a gear change. Now got his hand on the shift lever. We'll make a shift. Headed down the long back stretch of the 3/8 into turn number 3, 4, and then they'll come back through the intersection of the figure 8 track.
And here he goes. We'll complete that lap as Steve Hatch gives us a lap on the road course. Ryan Hausenfluck, the most dangerous name I figured on television is Ryan Hausenfluck. And we're so glad to have him out here. Looking really good, looking sporty now as he's got about a 10-car length lead over Greg Hatch in the 17 car in second spot. Christian Miller looking pretty sporty here on lap number 5, solidly in that third spot. We just went for a little bit of a cruise with Steve Hatch in the 82. Dan Miller in the 00 round out the top 5.
You're talking about Hausenfluck, just 15 years old out of Lake Stevens.
So impressive.
I mean, another one of these guys that's out here racing and doesn't even have a license to operate a car on the streets.
Amazing, but looking really good. That young man's going to make some noise, I think, as the time comes up. As we saw a car getting out of shape there, it looks like the number 86. Is that, yeah, 00 car. Dan Miller out of shape there as they went out of turn number 3 on the 5 or 3/8 course. As they're making the hard left-hander now out of the 5th mile on the figure 8 track. They're just all over the place. They're on about 3 different tracks. Make up our road course for the Interstate Battery Hornets. And again, thanks a lot to Interstate Batteries. They're right off of 128 there, all battery sales and services, the major Interstate Battery dealer around here. And take it from me, those guys, any type of, if you've got industrial, electrical you need taken care of, batteries obviously, but there's so much more to that place. They really do a phenomenal job, and so glad they've been a partner out here at Evergreen Speedway for years now in this division. And a great shot there on one of our in-car cameras as they are coming across the start-finish line and completing another lap.
It's Buzz-In Steakhouse night. So, after the steakhouse, or even tonight, we should slide over there for a steak, a burger, maybe a great salad, or, they do breakfast all day.
Yeah.
So, great spots throughout the Pacific Northwest. Stop in and get a meal, maybe a cold beverage at the Buzz-In Steakhouse.
Yep, I was there on the one on Broadway just today and had lunch. It's nice to go into a place and sit down and have lunch. This is the type of things that you take for granted, but thanks to places like the Buzz-In, the guy kind of got this figured out. A lot of places do. We're kind of whatever normal was. Hopefully we can get back to it pretty quick, but up front, it is still the 33 having a very race of his season, I think, so far. Ryan Hausenfluck in that 33 car, still leading this thing as we are a third of the way through.
You're right, and this is a difficult class. Terrio, the points leader, who had a bad qualifying effort but won a heat race, is still not even cracked the top 10 in 10 laps. So Terrio's finding it difficult to make his way forward at this point.
I am impressed. I will have no trouble mentioning Jamie Corbett in the 76, working his way through the field as well. He's up currently in position number 6 behind Dawson Cox, who's done a nice job, as he always does. Dawson Cox, just that kid, we need to kind of appreciate him while we have him, because he could be in a spot where we may not be having a young man like Dawson Cox out here every Saturday to watch here this year on Home Track Heroes, because people are going to be checking that young man out, I think.
And we probably will see him next week in his Speedway Chevrolet Pro Late model.
Yes.
They had kind of a bad debut, got involved in a fairly serious accident, backed it up, last week with a couple of good runs. So, as you say, that guy's got a lot of talent, and Dad better find a second job, because he's going to need it to keep him in race cars, because he'll drive anything and everything with 4 wheels.
And do it well. So congratulations to that Cox family for really getting behind this place, this division, and that young man. And his sister McKenna, too, has got some talent. Don't think she does. And she's going to be a player as years go by, too. But it's still Ryan Hausenfluck as we are just about to the halfway point. In fact, we are on the halfway lap number 15. Hausenfluck now with about a 12-car length lead. Dawson Cox in the second spot. Jamie Corbett right behind him. Greg Hatch and Lyndon Smith in that 221. Lyndon's looking pretty good tonight, too.
You're right. I was talking about how difficult it's been for Terrio to move forward. And we're halfway through, and he hasn't cracked the top 10 yet. Trent Gillespie, who's running 10th right now, quick qualifier for the day. So a good fast race car, but still mired back in the field and a long ways to go if he wants to get onto the podium.
So, like we mentioned, halfway through Interstate Battery Hornet 30-lap main event here on this balmy, hot, sticky, slick racetrack Saturday afternoon here at Evergreen Speedway in Monroe. And Home Track Heroes here on CW11. As not much has changed. These guys kind of holding steady here. They've got a good idea of where they're at as far as race distance goes, thinking about the moves that they are going to need to make if they want to win this thing.
You're right, and just one lap past halfway as they head on down, you can see a great shot right there of the 76 of Jamie Corbett. That guy is fast each and every week, slid into the number 3 spot right now. A great battle right there with those 3 cars as they head off down the backstretch of the 3/8 here at Evergreen Speedway.
Kind of nice to see some of these guys in this top 10 leaderboard that we don't really get a chance to talk about that much. The 70 of Tanner Emery is one, for example. Turning some pretty quick lap times. I mean, the cars in the 7th, 8th, and 9th spot are turning the mid-24 to high 24-second laps. And leader Brian Hausenfluck is not that far off the pace, but second place and third place turning some pretty gnarly lap times as well. So, yeah, Ryan Hausenfluck's got to start keeping an eye on that rear view mirror. He knows those cars are coming. There's some pretty impressive talent behind the wheel of the 7D and the Dawson Cox now taking the lead. What happened to Ryan? As I started talking about him, he goes.
We put the kiss of death on him.
Oh man, I've been doing that all season. There's so many apologies I got to hand out at the banquet this year.
Sheesh.
Oh,
you're in trouble.
I know.
But
I know.
Dawson Cox out front leading another main event. It's easier to kind of follow people. People will take, you can run off their bumper, you know what you need to do. When you get out front, it's a little bit more difficult. You're setting the pace. You need to kind of figure out where you should lift, when you should shut that car off, as you head down into the corners and stuff. But Cox, very, very good job, very smooth. It makes it look pretty easy for just a young man with not a lot of racing experience yet.
And I think the thing that makes him so good is his consistency. If you focus on him every lap, if you had the opportunity to sit in the grandstands and just watch him, he's going to hit that same piece of real estate virtually every lap. Sure, there's going to be things that get in the way. There's going to be pressure like he has right now. But if you've kept an eye on him, he just came out of that final turn out of turn number 4 on the 3/8 in the same spot. But boy, he's got a mirror full of Jamie Corbett. This could be pretty cool, as we're going to have 7 laps to go when they come across the start-finish line. Jamie Corbett all over the back end of Cox's number 7B car.
Corbett, 45 years of age, probably has more experience racing cars than Dawson is old. I don't know if Dawson, probably 18, 19 years old in that age bracket. Not 100% sure where he's at exactly, but you got Corbett back there, has been doing this, very smart, wily veteran. It's going to be interesting to see if Corbett gets close enough, if he can use a little bumper, maybe a little bump and run here in these last 7 laps.
And we have just wrapped up lap number 24. They'll have 5 to go when they come across the start-finish line next time by. But Dawson Cox just doing a masterful job. Washed out a little bit high that time. Maybe trying a different line, but it kind of worked. He did put some separation as he came off the high end on the turn number 2 of the 3/8. And that maybe gave him about 2 car lengths of a difference as they complete this lap. But that may be all he needs. And let's see if he does it this time as he comes into turn number 1. And he kind of brought it up a little bit lower this time. But same amount of distance as they go down the backstretch with the 7D of Cox and the 76 of Corbett.
Ryan Hausenfluck in the 33 car, running in that 3rd position, started outside the front row. So one of the slower cars in qualifying. But Ryan's kind of figured it out. Maybe he's not a great qualifier, but he's a good race car driver, and he's done a great job through 26 laps of keeping that car up front with just Dawson Cox and Jamie Corbett in front of him.
I'm impressed, too, with the run by the 221 of Lyndon Smith. Ran that 24.485, pretty quick lap time there in that 4th spot. Steve Hatch in the 82s. We've seen a couple of different views from inside Hatch's car throughout this race as the laps are winding down, as we see the 33 car coming out of turn. There's Ryan Hausenfluck there on the high spot out of turn number 2 with the 221, Lyndon Smith, who just got done talking about. Let's see, Smith was going to take a look down on the inside. Boy, I tell you, Hausenfluck looked like he was just about ready to go around. These guys probably getting a little bit tired inside these things. Dawson Cox still leading it. Jamie Corbett in 2nd.
Lyndon Smith in that 221, another one of those 15-year-old kids. There are some really, really good young talent each and every week in the Interstate Batteries Hornets division.
All right, white flag coming out. And there it is. One more to go for Dawson Cox, who's won several of these things this year, with Jamie Corbett right behind him. We see the car that just kind of got in their way. Look at Corbett now. He really picked up going into that turn. And let's see where they're at. Corbett taking a look down on the inside. Here he comes. Had to back out of it. Dawson Cox protecting that lead as they come out of the final turn. And there it comes out of turn 4 with a beautiful move by Corbett to pick up the win. We're going to see if we can get a replay. We'll have that here in just a couple of seconds. But a great run at the end of the race by Jamie Corbett. Let's see how he does it.
Corbett headed down the backstretch into turn 3, shifts, grabs the gear, heads down in there deep. I think you're going to see just a little bumper tag. There's one shot. There's another one right there. Slides up the hill inside and takes the win.
And that's how you do it, folks, right there. As, that little spin right there might have been a thank you from Dawson. As Jamie Corbett picking up the win. Congratulations. And we're going to bring him up to our Angel of the Winds winners podium. And they're going to get talked to by Brandy Chavez here at end of our main event for the Hornets.
Welcome to the podium for the first time this year in the Hornet division, the number 33 of Ryan Hasenfleck. How was that race out there with no cautions tonight?
It was fast and it was hot out there. Man, oh man, it's warm in those cars tonight. It was great. It was fast. It was fun. It was definitely fun being up front until those faster cars caught me and got around. But no, it was fun. It was fun. I'd like to say thank you to my sponsors, Bucksmith Trucking, Edwards K&S Construction, Cornerstone Homes. I got my kid out there in the pits. He drives the 03 car. He's helping me out. My crew, Lucas Hasenfleck. Grandma's back there too. Hi, Mom. Thanks, everybody.
Any special message for the fans who can't be here with us?
We miss you guys, man. It's definitely quiet without you guys here, that's for sure. It's not the same coming out here and getting these things without anybody up there. So, yeah, we miss you guys.
All right, Ryan Hasenfleck, the 33 car, third place Hornets tonight. Congratulations.
Thank you.
On the podium tonight for the second time, this time in the Hornets, second place, Dawson Cox in the 7D. How you feel?
Well, I'm kind of bummed that I lost the race that way. I guess in some people's eyes, that's the way to win the race. I don't think he did anything wrong. It was just good, hard race, and I would have liked to win that, kind of redeem myself for hitting the intersection earlier, but what are you going to do? Seconds were still pretty good, pretty respectable. The car was just junk. I was doing everything I could to make it around the track without crashing, so. I'd like to thank everyone that helped me, Dave, John, same people I said earlier. They helped me get the car back together for the Hornet main. We came out and gave it a run for our money.
All right, Dawson Cox, second place Hornets tonight. In the Hornets, the number 76 of Jamie Corbett. How did you like that race out there tonight with no yellow cautions?
That was a beautiful race. I roughed up Dawson a little bit there at the end. That kid is so fast and so talented. I didn't know what else to do to try to get by him. So I was a little rough on him, and I'm sure I'm going to have payback. I'm sorry, Dawson, but that was a lot of fun. He's the one to beat out here.
Last race, you were mechanically failed out of the race. So to come back and take the championship, how's that feel tonight?
Hey, that's a great feeling. Like I said, Dawson's the one to beat, and I had to put a move on him, which, maybe wasn't the greatest move, but it worked, and I'm excited, and it's great being here.
Any sponsors you want to shout out tonight?
I want to thank Brandy Hood Promotions right here standing in front of me. She does a lot for the track and everybody here. I want to thank Doug and Tracy Hobbs for keeping this track going. I got a couple new sponsors, Two Girls in a Leaf and Wellness Solutions. And I can't forget my constant sponsors, the Rev, Bobby Black, and Cole Reardon with Reardon Racing. Woo!